I've got a couple of reasons to think Belisarius Prime, I'm going to use this pleb version as a placeholder, that is not really for free to play. And the first one is that he actually has the mobility tree. The mobility tree requires him to be secondary, and that itself kind of limits his options. Second of all, his active skill is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's conditional as well. So if you don't hit the target in time, you don't get the rage reduction benefit. His passive skills, are decent, but nothing too out of pocket. I think Nevsky has better ones, let's be honest. Only the fourth one of Belisarius Prime has, a little bit more punch to it. But the main reason why I don't think he's free to play friendly is his expertise. Now, his expertise makes, if you surround him with 5 targets, the target takes 12% more all damage. That counts for all your marches in the lineup. So, for example, you use 5 marches. That target basically takes 60% more all damage. So that in itself is going to be busted. But to do that, you need to get the expertise. To get the expertise, it takes 690 sculptures. And if you're not having 5 marches already set up, you're kind of losing the benefit. I know you can use other people's marches to get the surround effect, but ideally, do I think Belisarius is replacing the top 2 calorie marches? Like, he has to be the secondary, and Huo has to be the primary. So that is the only logical, really, pairing to me. But also because Huo can fire off his active skill earlier, which means if you want to get benefit of Belisarius's active skill, you want to pair in Huo, so there's a chance you might trigger it before the target does, therefore delaying their active skill. So Huo has some tankiness and some march speed, and funny enough, the Belisarius regular version has more defense compared to the Prime version. So I find that kind of funny. But Belisarius is definitely not like Liu Che or Herman, quality. So if you're not having 4 or 5 marches, I don't think you should do it. I refer him as the calorie Sargon. Like, Sargon has niche uses, I would say. He's great for swarming, rallies, garrisons, all that. But for actual open field, dot damage and all that is not the best. Okay. Now Belisarius has full active skill, but it's only a single target. So if you pair in Huo, they are both single target march commanders, so it's you have that march. And to me, what they're trying to do is they're trying to have infantry do smite damage. They have cavalry trying to be, fully focused around the garrison, the rally, and then you have the archers who do lots of skill damage, like circle, half circle, skill damage stacks. But to me, that makes honestly a lot of sense. If you look at it actually from a warfare perspective, infantry should be the one who tanks and soaks up. Cavalry is the one who's flanking, and archers are behind to do all the damage. But to me, I think they're doing a step in the right direction. I know people are not satisfied with Belisarius so far. It's been very mixed reviews, and honestly, I was a bit disappointed too, because I was planning to invest in a new cavalry. But as things stand, maybe the garrison commander changes something. I will most likely save up for the new infantry, which is very much bound to be another smite pair. And smite, unlike skill damage, cannot be really countered on the field. Like, if you have skill damage commanders, you have emergency protection. It reduces the skill damage you take. And you have commanders like loose formation, and then in the skill tree, you have, what's it say, heraldic shield. You have lots of ways to mitigate skill damage, but there are really no ways to mitigate smite damage. So I think in the long run, smite damage commanders like infantry are going to have more value on the field compared to single target That's just my wild opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. So, do I think is worth investing like a whale? I think definitely yes. I think this is really designed for them. So let's say a whale has 6 or 7 marches. He has 1 march in a garrison. Maybe he's rallying, so he has 5 marches left. So you pair Belisarius with Huo. You use 5 marches. You swarm down anything that comes your way. If you're rallying, you swarm the garrison. If you're garrison, you swarm the rally. So I think that is the intended goal for Belisarius, in my opinion. Now, of course, he has the mobility tree, and his primary, him being primary, does not actually penalize him for being primary in Ark of Osiris, for example, just because of his 60% march speed after leading combat. So in an Ark of Osiris scenario, I think is good. It's going to be meta just because of that. He can get to things faster enough. But otherwise, if you're free to play, maybe even a low spender, if you don't have already like 1 calorie march, 2 calorie marches, I think you should not invest in it. So we're going to see when it comes out. I'm going to do some testing in the Rock Bella simulator, but even in the simulator, it's not telling the whole picture, because previously Herman was not doing that great in duels, but his impact in the open field is very, very noticeable. So I think Belisarius will have that similar effect where you won't notice it in like a 1v1. But if you're really focusing down a target, like a rally or a garrison, you will definitely see you're doing much more damage and the target melts faster. So if you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.